what I got going on today for the project of the day is I'm putting a double gate in, two 12-foot gate panels for, this is my firewood splitting area. So all the wood I've been cutting, I've been bringing it here and stockpiling it. I got a Wolfridge splitter coming, I'm going to pick it up next Saturday at the Paul Bunyan show in Cambridge, Ohio. So Brett Buckley, who has a YouTube channel, he's farmed with me in the past, and you'll see him on my channel in some videos. This is his dad's Kubota, and his dump trailer, that's not mine. It's a 12-footer. This tractor takes up all of it. We got the bucket hanging over the front, everything's strapped down, but mine's a 14-footer. His is a lot nicer for hauling like a cord of firewood to somebody and maneuvering it, but mine's a little bit longer and better for hauling equipment. But anyways, check out his channel. He's got a lot going on with this equipment and other equipment and boats and lawnmowers and players. He just got a Ranger 1000 like ours. Same model, only it's the crew, so the double bench seat. But he just upgraded. So he's got a bunch of videos on all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm borrowing this, this is a 12-inch auger, post hole digger. I believe it's from Tractor Supply. I've never used it, so we'll see how it goes. There's a 6-inch in the trailer, but I'm putting a 7-inch in, it's a 7-inch post. So I'm going with the 12-inch hole. I'm going down just 2 feet. I'm going to quickcrete them in, and 2 posts, 2 panels. It shouldn't be too bad. I just want to, I'm going to put one side in and mount it first, and then to get my measurement more precise. I mean, I measured the panels and I know about the distance, but I'd rather set up one side and then get the other side installed. So I want a little bit of a gap and try to get it the best I can. So we'll get started here. The other thing I forgot to mention is I got these ear defenders. They're pretty awesome. I'm really happy with them, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. So if you're looking for some sort of Bluetooth with the stereo or radio, AM, FM, ear defenders for hearing protection, these are really nice, and they're pretty, they're not very expensive, I guess. I saw these in the store initially, and I was like, oh, I've been wanting to get a pair of these. I've seen a lot of guys on YouTube that run equipment have something similar, and I'm always using foamies and other stuff, and it's a pain. So, and you can listen to music, of course, so that's awesome, and take phone calls. I found them, so when I saw them in the store, they were like $80 some, and I looked on Amazon. They had the same ones for $62 free shipping, so I purchased them, and I'm really happy with them. The volume for the music doesn't go super loud because they don't want to hurt your hearing, but it's good. It's not too quiet. It's got a lot of features. It's got, but I'm gonna get into that in another video. Anyways, they're from 3M, and they're the Bluetooth ear defenders. $62 on Amazon. I'll talk about them in another video. Alright, a little bit of dirt fell in it after I pulled out there, but I'm going to measure. I got to get down at least 2 feet. Looks like I still have a little bit to go, but like I said, when I pulled up out, some of the dirt fell down in the hole. So I got to get the tape measure and check it. Alright, I got the hole cleared out. I think I'm a little shy of 2 feet, but it's close. It's got some sort of white rock down there, so I'm not going any deeper with the auger or with the post hole digger. I cleaned out a little bit of dirt in the bottom, and that's going to be deep enough for the concrete it in. Alright, I'm going to set the pole down in. I can't go any deeper in that hole because it's in some sort of white rock base. It's about 20 inches. So it's just shy of 2 feet. So I'm probably just going to cut the top off. Mark it. I think I want about 5 foot of pole sticking out. Alright, so my fiance just showed up with 4 50-pound bags of Quikrete. I cut about 1.5 feet off of the pole with a chainsaw. I measured 5.5 feet, and I cut it off at 5.5 feet. You'll see whenever we mount them, you can adjust the gate up and down with the clamps. My helper Saul's here, and he's going to help us for a while now. He just got home from church. I dumped 100 pounds of Quikrete around, back up a little bud, 100 pounds of Quikrete around the pole. We used a level on the sides and with the phone level, so I mean it's close. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close. And we put the Quikrete around it. You could just throw the dirt over it, and the Quikrete will actually pull the water, the moisture out of the ground, and it'll set. It'll just take longer. We haven't had a lot of rain. It's been pretty dry for the last couple weeks. We had like maybe 1 rainstorm. So I'm going to go get 5 gallons of water and pour it in there just to help set the concrete. So we're going to go grab some water and pour it on the Quikrete. And that's what we're looking at now. I'm going to give that some time for the water to sink down in, and then I'm going to put the rest of the bucket on there, and then cover the dirt, throw that dirt back on top of it, mount it up, and give that some time. I don't know, I might drill the pole. I don't really want to mess with it too much right now. So technically you should probably wait a day or two and let that concrete set before you start putting the gate on, but I'm going to probably get it set today. Just not put a lot of weight or mess with it too much. Alright, I measured it out, and I want a little bit of gap between the gates so you can wrap the chain around them and have a little bit of, so they're not overlapping. So we're going to go ahead and drill a hole here. Alright, I'm going to clean the hole out. That's what we're looking at. Clean it out and measure it. It needs to be close to at least 2 feet, I'd like. Pretty close to 2 feet. Maybe an inch or two shy, but a little bit better than the other side. Alright, I'm going to go get the post, and we're going to fit check it in there. Might have to cut a little bit off on that one too. Alright, so we got the other posts sitting in place. We brought the two 12-foot panel gates down, the gate panels down. They have adjustable clamps on them, so you can kind of, as long as they're in line, you can put your your hooks in, get a rough estimate how far you want them apart, but you can loosen the bolts up and slide them up and down to go onto the mounts. I brought my dump trailer down. It had the gates and the poles in it. I marked on the pole where the two hinge, they're like lag bolts, but they're for the hinges go, and I'm going to pilot drill them with a 1/2-inch drill bit. Yeah, so this is like a lag hinge, or I guess a pin for your hinge on the gate, and I'm going to pilot drill it with the 1/2-inch drill bit. And I'm just going to continue to run this in and then drill the hole up top. Okay, spring level.
You have about a 3-foot extension cord that you don't need and want to get rid of permanently? If not, I'll have to wire another box in the garage. If you got about a 3-foot extension cord, that's all it needs to be.
Probably find something.
Okay, then I'll just leave that and go to the game room area now.
Something needs wired, or you need a plug for something?
Well, they only give you about 3-foot extension or 3-foot cord on the light fixtures, and to get to that one box, it needs to be about 3 foot longer.
Okay.
I put 2 in there.
Do you use one off for one of the lights you're taking down? Or no?
Not really,
Okay.
because I'd have to splice it and use wire nuts. I may as well put a box in if we're going to do that.
Yep, let me go look and see what I can find.
It doesn't have to be right now. You got this going on. I just thought if you knew where one was, I'd get it.
I'll just run up real quick.
I'll just move into the, okay, well, if you want. That looks good. I'll move into the game room now.
Okay.
It'd be nice if they were a little brighter. I mean, they're brighter than what you got, but...
Oh, they're not that bright?
Yeah, when you see, you'll see. Better than that incandescent that was in there, but that area is so large that you really
High,
need
too, yeah.
more lumens in there.
Yeah, ideally I was thinking those 4 were for the other side, so
You could do that.
we can get a couple more for
You
the
could,
other.
that would be good,
Yeah.
because it just
I
off
was
the
just
hook.
thinking 4 to replace the 4 on that side.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about the other, so it will need more than one, definitely.
100 pounds of Quikrete we set in there. And I'm going to pour some water on it just to get it setting quicker. Let that sink in. The other side's pretty strong. There's like, if you push on it, it doesn't move at all. This side right now, you could still adjust it if you need to, but it's fast setting Quikrete. So we'll let this set up. She's getting the pins. She's getting the pins installed on that side, and then we'll have to cut the top of that pole off to get it a little bit lower. Starting to rain a little bit. I'm just listening to music. That's why I have these on. So you put your your anchors, your pins in like this, one down on top, the bottom one it sits on. These are adjustable, they're carriage bolts. You just loosen the one side, so this one I can slide it up and down to where we need. We can put it on, tighten it down. That one's already tight, and we're just gonna set it on. Alright, you're gonna have to hold up your side. Back some. Why is it raining? Let it swing, let it go that way. I want to see where it goes to. One of the things I didn't take into complete consideration, I wanted it to be back off the road. I should have put it about another foot to the right or inward. So it's right at the edge of this. This is an actual road, but there's only a couple houses on it. So, well, there's only one house past this point, so it doesn't get a lot of traffic. But when it's open, if we're bringing in a truck or a trailer, I mean, I can go a little bit farther open with it, I think. Yeah, it'll go. So, I mean, it clears off of the road, but I should have put it about another foot in just so it wasn't even out to the road, but not bad. The other one should be fine. It shouldn't come out to the road. But this side is hung. We're gonna have a gap in the middle, and we'll wrap a chain. But yeah, that's pretty much what it will look like. It's looking pretty good. The top might need to come down just a little bit. It looks like maybe the gate's like going up a little bit. So if I crank that top hinge out a full turn, it will lower the outer side of the gate down a little bit. So I'm probably gonna do that real quick. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I just want to have these lined up. There's a little bit of a downhill slope, and I want to have my hinges in about the same area, even though they are adjustable. You got, I don't know, 8 inches or so, 7-8 inches play with the clamps where you can be close, but I want to have them roughly about in the same spot. So I'm going to tie string to this hinge, and I'm going to run it over to my other pole. I found a string level in all my junk. I can't believe I found it. I have a mess right now from moving all my stuff here. But I'm just going to wrap a string around here, run it to the other side, put the string level on it, and then mark that side to drill my holes for the hinges on the other side. Alright, so when you put the string level on, it just hangs. Put it in about the middle. You got to get the tension out of it. And repeat the same thing for the bottom hinge. And then I'm going to drill my pilot holes for the anchors, put those in, then we can hang the other panel. Colt, come here, buddy. Then we're going to pilot drill 1/2 inch where I marked those. These poles, these are the 6-inch poles. They're actually about 7-inch when you measure them, but these were about $18, $19 at Tractor Supply. Alright, now we can run our mounts in for the gate, the pins. Alright, and then we run the pins in, they're lags. It looks like there's a flat on here for you to put a crescent wrench or a pair of channel locks or something. They don't really, I get more leverage going over here on this pin like this, but it's probably not the right way to do it, but it works for me, so. Alright, and that's it for the bottom one. Now I'll do the same thing on the top, and then once you get your gate set, if it's pitched up, you can run the bottom or the top outer turn to get the pitch of the gate you need. Alright, so what I did was I measured from the bottom rail up to the bottom of my hinge bracket, and then I set the new gate panel the same height and tighten the bottom down. The top's loose, and I'll have to set it in place. Hopefully everything lines up and it's pretty symmetrical from one panel to the other. I like to have things look identical, not have like the brackets offset. It'll work the same. I mean, it'll work good and serve its purpose, but this stuff just bothers me. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to put the panel in place. This guy's chopping just left. The farmer made a gesture like he broke something, so I guess something on the chopper broke and he's done for now. I'm going to set this on the bucket for assistance. It'll help support me where I need to be for now. Or not. I'm going to line up the gate with the other one real quick before I tighten this down. Try to get them even. I wanted a little bit of a gap here. That's fine. They look pretty even. I think I'm going to tighten it down right where it's at. I'm pretty happy with that. Doesn't need much of an adjustment. Well, it looks, from here it looks like my left gate needs to drop down about maybe an inch. It's close, but from right here it looks like the left gate needs to drop down, drop the whole panel down an inch. So I can do that pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that. We'll loosen the bottom hinge up and let it down about 1 inch, and then tighten it back up, and then the top one the same, and then those two panels should line up perfectly. They're not sitting on the bucket at all. They're suspended out there. The chain will keep them centered. I want to eventually put like some eyelets on the back, maybe weld them on or something with a metal stake with a 90 on it that drops down. So when you open the gate, you can drop it down in the ground. And the other thing I might do is I might drive a piece of, get a piece of steel pipe and drive it in the ground right in the center. I'm not sure on that, where you can drop the stakes into them to hold it, just for some more security, but it's not a big deal. But for the most part, we're done and hung. On this pole over here, I'm going to mark from the other side. I'm going to run the string across and get a level mark, and I'm going to whack the probably, I think only like half a foot or maybe 8 inches will have to come off the top just so the poles are level across. And we'll be done with this project. I said, it's not keeping animals in or anything. I just don't want people pulling vehicles in here. I'm gonna have all my firewood stockpiled here. I got that splitter coming, and this is where I'm gonna drag all the firewood to, and split all the firewood. So I don't want people coming in and helping themselves. It's can't really see this from the house. I mean, people would have to drive past the house, but yeah, I just want it to be a little bit more secure and people not down here helping themselves. Not many people come back here because there's only one house down here past this, but there is access to the game lands off of this road, so during hunting season we get some people back in here. Alright, so I'm pretty much finished with this gate. I'm going to get a lock for it. I still have to cut the top of that pole off to match that side. That's the only thing left that I really have to do. When Benna gets home later, I might have her help me. It looks like this panel that I just put up is slightly angled down now that I adjusted the clamps. So I think what needs to happen is I need to crank that top mount, that pin. I need to crank it in one turn, and then I might have to adjust my clamps to get it perfectly level with this side. I mean, it's close right now, but when I look at it, it looks like this panel angles down a slight bit. So by taking that top pin in one turn, it will bring the top of the gate up, and then it'll have to probably slide down in the clamps a little bit. But other than that, I'm happy with it. I plan to have a little bit. I wanted about an 8-inch gap in between there. I ended up with probably a 10-inch to almost a foot, but not quite. The chains wrap around both, lock in, and then I can still bring them back together and put a lock through them. But like I said, the ground humps up right there. You can't really see it, but there's a dirt in there, so you can't even really drive a four-wheeler through that side. This side, you could drive through the weeds, definitely a four-wheeler or side-by-side, which I kind of want it to be that way so we don't have to open the gate, because we have a trail up here. If you go straight back is one of the four-wheeler side-by-side trails. It goes around the whole property. But so I'd like to kind of have that open so we don't have to open the gate to ride four-wheelers. We could just go around the pole. But it's almost wide enough that if you had a crappy truck that you didn't care about, you could come through there and just run some brush over. So that kind of defeats the purpose of the gate. So I also might go get one of the big boulders that we have around the property and set it there so you can't drive through. I'm undecided on that yet, because that commercial log splitter that I got coming next weekend, it's pretty expensive, and the nice thing is you can tow it from both sides, so the hitch comes out and can go in either side. But I could take the hitch so you can't tow it, but I mean, if somebody really wants it, they could still take it. So I'm probably, I don't know, what I have to do now is drill some holes. I'm putting a lean-to pavilion up. It's just going to be 10 foot on one side, 8 foot on the other side, with 6x6s, and I'm running some 2x8s across, 14 foot, and just putting some corrugated metal roof over it so I can put the log splitter underneath it to keep it out of the rain and stuff. But so that's what I have to do now. I kind of have to get a square 14 by 14 and use that auger while I have it here to get 4 more holes, and then I got to go over to the field. I'm putting some signs up for my business in our field. We're on like kind of 2 main roads, and so I want to put a sign on each main road. So I need 8 foot apart, and I'm putting 6x6s in between the signs. So I got to drill some holes now. I still got a bunch of firewood I got to cut. I got a tree laying in the front yard and a tree laying in the woods. So I got a bunch of rounds I got to cut up. Hopefully I'll get to that today. It's so humid. It rained all this morning, and now the sun's out, and it's just, I don't know, it's almost 90 degrees. It's probably 90 plus with the humidity, but the gate's done. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If you want to critique me, feel free. It doesn't bother me at all. This is the first gate I've ever installed, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So, all right, now I gotta drive everything back up to the house. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It does me a lot of good just having the subscription. If you want to like the video, that helps out also. But at very least, thanks for watching.